Hello, everyone. Welcome to Slap Your Small Business YouTube channel. Today we're uh, with Tisa Clark. In today's episode of Slap Stories, we're gonna feature her and ask her a couple of questions about her journey. She's been working with us for a while, and I wanna share her story. I want her to tell us her story, her journey, and her experience since we've been working together. I am your host today, Juan Pablo Rivadeneira. I am the leader of the development and application of the methodology. Before we start, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. With that said, Tisa, welcome. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you so much, Juan. It's truly an honor to share my SLAP story. So I am Tisa J.D. Clark, founder of the J.D. Clark Companies, which consists of J.D. Clark Professional Services, our construction and maintenance firm, J.D. Clark Consulting, which is our consulting and coaching firm, and J.D. Clark Real Estate, which is our real estate development firm. We've been in business. The initial company, J.D. Clark Professional Services, started in May of 2008 when the bottom was falling out of the bottom here in the U.S. And so we have working toward our 17th year. So I'm very excited about this opportunity and about being a small business owner.
That's that's amazing. I personally believe that small business owners, and I learned this from Carissa, our CEO and founder. They're like the modern superheroes, taking the risk, the courage to just say, you know what, I am the one who's gonna pay the role pay. I'm the one who's gonna provide jobs. Who's gonna deal with the stress of growing and helping people. That's really courageous first step. And yeah, modern superheroes. And now my first question to you is, how do you hear about Slab? But before we go to that question, you mentioned something very interesting, like from the nature of your work and the moment that you started it. How was that experience in terms of, was it challenging? How do you work through that? Um,
So I think for me, when I first started, life was happening. So life was lifing. And the birth of my youngest son was discovered that he had a rare genetic disorder. Only 20 children in the world has what he has. And at the time, I was in corporate America climbing the ladder, the executive ladder, and my why changed. I didn't know what his future was going to look like. I needed to be more flexible, have more control over what I was doing and my time. Time is such a key commodity. And so I went in and resigned and started the business on the same day. It was I was fearful, wondering, would I be successful? The initial goal was just having the control, and the ability to take care of my family, but also be there with my family while giving back to a community that was struggling with foreclosures, because of the timing of how things were going. So it was I was nervous. All of those I mean, it's hard to put it into just one or two words, Juan, because when you start a business from nothing, so it was started from scratch. Um, it literally was just every emotion you can imagine was happening all at the same time. And I just knew I had to press forward, because my why was my motivator. And I stayed true to the why and what my core values were. And that's what kept me moving in the midst of the sea of emotions that I was experiencing.
Alignment is key. Alignment is
Exactly.
key. That's what I would say. Now, tell me, how do you hear about Slab? How do you hear about Silver Lining?
So, it was truly a blessing. We were in the middle of a global pandemic, not that long ago, but long enough ago, and partnered up with several CDFIs, Community Development Financial Institutions, and was introduced by Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo, which was at the time one of the funders that created an opportunity for me to be a Slapster, and they would help offset the cost of the program to get involved. So that's how I initially got involved 3 years ago. This is actually my third SLAP year.
And how's your experience been so far?
Oh my goodness. I just can't sing the praises loud enough. It was truly an awakening, I would call it. And I use that word specifically because at the time I was trying to pivot the business in this new world, coming out of the pandemic, post COVID, revisiting kind of the basics, the foundation of what we were providing, who we were providing it to, and coming into the SLAP community, and building my first SLAP piece by piece. It helped me align to the things that mattered, my core value, my impact. It allowed me to look at me and making sure I was being taken care of, as well as my clients and my customers and my community, um, and really creating a goal that created impact, that SLAP statement, right? And knowing what that SLAP statement was and its impact and being true and committed to that. Another thing was the pricing. I had to revisit how I price things, from a standpoint of what I needed to make, and then what did profit look like, versus sometimes as we price things, we don't price it from the way that SLAP educates us. And so it's a mindset that was shifting, that I was very, very open to. I was at a point that I needed it, and it met everything that I needed coming in.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You have said a couple of words that I would like to emphasize: impact, alignment. Yeah, from the methodology perspective, we have a let's say a saying, for lack of a better word, that we believe it's fundamental to uh, offering a different perspective, right? If you, as a business owner, were to do a quick search in Google and look for resources on how to grow or everything, you would find a lot of um, messaging talking about getting earlier than everybody, hustling, balance. That word balance a lot, and you need to grow. Like, I work more than you, I sleep less than you, and I'm sacrificing everything, right? And then
Right.
then that word balance come. Like, how do you balance it? That, I'm not saying that that's doesn't have any value. I'm sure that some people might want to need to hear that at some point in their lives, but we believe that it's not sustainable
Mhm.
compared to, and me saying that's not sustainable and not offering as an alternative, like what you just said: alignment. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Impact. Who am I impacting with my small business? Those things, just as well as you said it, like having that foundation is what helps you be consistent over time. And I'm so happy, like what you're saying is sort of like the application put into reality. And it's very incredible for me, because I talk about this from a conceptual perspective, to hear an actual business owner reinforcing those points. So if I were to ask you, what are the best things you have gained from SLAP, like in your experience? And this could be personal or professional wise. What would you say that is?
I think the biggest thing um, is time. So the concept, I understood time management before being a slapster, but the emphasis on the time budget and being aware of that 168 hours that you have in a week and prioritizing based on the fact that you only have 168 hours in a week. That was, I think, the biggest fundamental change for me in not only how I run my business and now businesses, to how I run my life. Being able to constantly be in tune to where am I placing my time, my attention, my focus, and where I don't need to be putting time and focus. Making sure that in that 168 hours that I create that budget, that there's time for me in that so that I can recharge and I can refuel, to be able to pour into everyone, personally, professionally, that needs me. So I would say that that whole time budgeting and being mindful of priorities, and sticking to it, right? Being committed, to being the very best I can be in the time that I have, and continuing to recognize that no is a complete sentence with a period, with no explanation needed.
With I want to, well, since you brought the time aspect to it, I want to let you know that we are incredibly grateful that you made time for this interview, by the way, because, yeah, I mean, you are right. Time, people say time, it's money. I agree with that, but that feels like money is more important than time. I would counter propose to that, like time, it's all you have, right? And yeah,
Right.
you could make it into money as well as many other things. So saying
Absolutely.
yes only to the right priorities is fundamental. And thank you for sharing, for taking the time. Let me say that. If you were to
My
talk,
time budget, I make sure that I put slots in there so that when things, pop up or things come up that I want to do, that I have the capacity to be able to do them.
thank you. Now, let's imagine you're talking to yourself from when you started, that day that you quit and you said, I'm quitting, I'm starting my job. Um, if you're talking to that person right now with the knowledge that you have, and I'm asking that question because I'm assuming many small business owners that might be looking at this video might be in that exact point in their life that you were in. What would you tell them from your experience? What advice could you give them?
I think it would be, I have multiple mantras that I kind of live by, and that I say daily. But I think the biggest thing that I would say, to myself or to anyone who's taking that leap, that's being courageous to take that step, I would say it's okay to fail forward. Right? It's okay to make mistakes and admit you don't know what you don't know. And if you make a mistake, it's okay. It's okay. Give yourself some grace, learn from that, tap into resources that are available. But it's okay. It's okay. Sometimes, as business owners, and particularly, minority business owners, as a woman, we can be so hard on ourselves and non-forgiving. Of ourselves, and we get stuck and we get paralyzed, because it doesn't seem like we're making progress, when in fact everything that we do is making progress. When we have good experiences, we continue those. When we have experiences that don't quite feel so good, we should dive in and lean into that, so that we can figure out what went well, what didn't go so well, because at the end of the day, we as small minority businesses, those who want to take this leap, we are resilient. We are resilient.
That's those are some great words. Tisa, I want to thank you very much for taking the time. How might our viewers find you, get in touch with you?
So they can simply visit our website, which is JD Clark PS. .com. Everything you want to do and tap into us, you can get to it by our website. So to see our services, to connect with us on social, to drop us a comment, everything centers around that website. So definitely jdclarkps.com. That will take you to our social sites. Definitely follow us. We're on all of them. And so just thank you. I want to thank you, Juan, and Carissa. This has been and continues to be an awesome, awesome experience and an awesome journey. And I owe it to SLAP, and the community that exists and the support that it provides. And so thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Tisa. Thank you for taking the time. Viewers, go look for Tisa, follow her, show her some love, and don't forget to thank you for viewing. I will see you in our next episode of Slap Stories, sharing the incredible stories or the heroes of the modern times. Forget about Captain America or anybody like that. Small business owners are the true heroes of society. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And for more information, check the link in bio. Thank you, Tisa, and I'll see you around, okay?